Hi, I'm Yin. My capstone project is Haptic interface for breathing guidance on flute learning. In this presentation, I'll first give a brief introduction on what I'm going to do and why I'm doing this, and then I'll talk about the design process, and afterwards I'll talk about the user testing I made and also the results and modification I did according to the user testing, and then I'll talk about the further development. From the previous research conducted by Garcia, which is the flute fingering position guidance, haptic guidance, he mentioned that traditional instrument learning is time consuming and it is always very sophisticated to learn about the music notations or the music theories. And therefore, technology aided instrument learning methods occurs. For example, traditional learning methods have these constraints on time and location. So the instructor is not able to give users enough guidance because of the time and location constraints, and sometimes the users want to practicing, but it is very common that when they're doing the self practicing, they form this kind of muscle memory for incorrect movement, and that's not what we want to do. But a haptic guidance method can actually avoid this happening. And what's more, for some of the people who have interest in learning flute playing, they are not actually expecting to learn more about the music theory, but only to play the flutes for relax. So using this haptic guidance method can reach their expectations faster. So this haptic interface I'm doing for breathing guidance, it actually solved this kind of problems that first of all, if you want to play the flute, you have to breathe at the precise timing. But for the people who doesn't know music theory, it is pretty hard for them to separate the songs into several musical phrases. But this device will give them the hints at the exact timing, and that actually solve the problems of lack of knowledge of musical theories. Secondly, in flute breathing, actually, flute players are using deep breathing methods, but normally in daily life, many people are using this chest breathing method, which is kind of the opposite to the deep breathing methods. We don't want the learners to form this kind of wrong muscle memory when playing the flute, and this interface and this haptic interface can actually help the learners to avoid having this kind of mistakes. So for the design process, the materials I used are ESP32, Lobot serial bus servo driver, battery, timing belt, 3D printed components, and some other small components. And I have four designs in total. The first one is the exoskeleton design. The second is the airbag design. The third one is timing belt, and the fourth one is the combination of exoskeleton design and timing belt. So for this exoskeleton design, the working logic is when the exoskeleton bend forward, it is the cue for the users to exhale, and when it bending backward, it is the cue for the users to inhale. And the second design is this airbag design, but I abandoned this design. I lost because of the noise. And the working logic is when the airbag expand, it is the hint for the users to exhale. And when the airbag contract, it is the hint for the users to inhale. The third one is the timing belt design. This timing belt will tighten or loosen, and these are the cues for the users to exhale and inhale. The fourth one is the combination of exoskeleton and timing belt, because during the self-testing process, I feel like the exoskeleton design work better for inhalation and the timing belt work better for exhalation. That's why I combine these two together. Then I start my user testing. So I have done two user testings in total, because the first user testing I was trying to find out the most functional and comfortable design for the users, and the second user testing I was trying to evaluate the adaptability and usability of these haptic interface. So I find 6 people in total, 3 people for each user testing, and I used a song that's specially designed for user testing. It is at a very low difficulty level, which is very suitable for flute beginners. The results actually shows that all of the users chose the combination design because they feel like the exoskeleton design gave them stronger hints for inhalation, and the timing belt gave them stronger hints for exhalation. From the second user testing, I got the advice of I should first slow down the speed because it is easier for the beginners to follow, and second, I should remove some of the functions of the exoskeleton design because for now I'm only using this exoskeleton to guide the users to inhale, so I can remove the exhale function, so therefore I can reduce the rotating angle of the servos in the exoskeleton design. And third, I add a pause between the inhalation and exhalation process just for clearer separation for these two process and give the users enough time to prepare for exhale after the inhale. And this is a quick demo of this device. So for the further development, I'll first make it wireless. This is also the suggestion from a lot of users. And second, I'll make a cover for the timing belt design because it will be safer. And third, which is also the potential of this interface, I feel like it can provide more guidance for the users, and I'll combine it with the real flute and detect the pitch of each note when the users are playing, and the haptic interface will provide like more strength if the user didn't reach the correct pitch. And I feel like this actually bring this haptic interface to a higher level. Thank you.